It's been a really big year for films this year. We got some really good ones too. From awe-inspiring superhero films to big crime gangster epics to science fiction extravaganzas. There's something there for everyone. We've even had arguments about what is or isn't cinema. But let's not get into that. So what I've done this year is I took a note of every single film that I've watched. And of all those films, I've narrowed them down to the top 5. Now it should be noted though, I live in the UK, so I've only seen films that have had an official UK release in 2019. And in order to get this footage out in a reasonable time, it does mean that I've had to record it before one of the biggest films of the year comes out, which may or may not have ended up on this ranking. So just be aware of that. What this means is you've got big films like 1917, Jojo Rabbit and Parasite, all highly acclaimed films, but sadly they haven't been released in the UK yet. So they're not going to be on this ranking. And that big film I was mentioning, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, not out till next week. So yeah, maybe I could have delayed this, but then my schedule wouldn't have allowed it, and then this would have been a highly delayed video and it wouldn't have came out at a reasonable time. If you feel the need for speed, but if that also sounds really dangerous, then go and see Le Mans 66, also known as Ford v Ferrari, which tells the story of Ken Miles and Carroll Shelby's attempts to build and race a car for Ford in order to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. It's part drama, part sports film. It features riveting, exciting race sequences, good comedic moments, a brilliant cast, a healthy dose of drama, and plenty to sink your teeth into. James Mangold is in top form as the director. Christian Bale and Matt Damon pull off fantastic performances, perhaps even Oscar-worthy ones. And it's a film anyone can go and see and enjoy. Sadly, it is a little on the long side of things, and the ending is a bit drawn out, but it's still great. If racing isn't your thing though, and you want something more stabby, who did it, then check out Knives Out. Knives Out is without a doubt one of the most fun and entertaining films of the year. It's a classic Agatha Christie style whodunit with an all-star cast headed by Daniel Craig and Ana de Armas. When a wealthy author and head of a family apparently commits suicide, the family gathers for the funeral and the will reading. But Daniel Craig's sleuth detective, Benoit Blanc, thinks there's more to it than it seems. The cast is fantastic, everyone has something to do, and they all get their moments. Writer-director Ryan Johnson gives each individual some sort of motivation, meaning you suspect everyone. He then constantly flips things around, playing with your expectations. At times it's not only a whodunit, but also a what was it. Add in some great comedic moments, good direction, fast pacing, and you have a super fun film for everyone. How do you bring a 20 plus film story to an end? You throw in just about every big name actor from all of the films, a bunch of references to each of them, tons of action, big shocking surprises, some of the greatest comic book film moments ever, and you have a 3-hour epic superhero film for the ages. Avengers Endgame shouldn't work. There's simply too much going on. But it not only works, it all comes together as one of the greatest achievements in cinema history. It gives characters who were absent in Avengers Infinity War their time to shine. It presents some big moral and ethical conundrums with its timey-wimey plot, and it provides closure for just about every character and every film that came before it. I really cannot recommend the film enough. So why is it my number 3? Simple, you can't watch it if you haven't seen the 20 plus films that came before it. It won't work. You won't know the characters or the story. Also, the timey-wimey stuff is a bit confusing. Heading into 2019, I would never have guessed that any comic book movie would rank higher on the films of the year list than Avengers Endgame, and yet here I am with my number 2, Joker. Joker is a comic book movie unlike no other. Firstly, it's technically not based on a comic book, only the characters from the comics. Most of its story inspiration comes from Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, so much so that it's essentially a weird remake of those films. It's a character study focusing on Arthur Fleck, the man who would become the Joker. It explores issues such as gun control and violence, mental health and corruption, and fame. It's dark and twisted, and it's also the most successful R-rated film ever. In many ways, this is the comic book movie for people who don't like comic book movies, and it's a film that shows that there's way more to the genre than superpowered individuals beating each other up. Joker is a powerful film, an uncomfortable film, and a great film. but it's also an important film that will open the door for the next wave of comic book movies, ones that are brave enough to be bold and different. Now, if only everyone could figure out whether or not they want to make a sequel and cast Emma Stone as Harley Quinn. Please. Oh, but if all that isn't your cup of tea, how about something a little more Scorsese? The Irishman reunites director Martin Scorsese with actors Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, who came out of retirement for this film. Throw in Al Pacino and you have three of the best crime gangster movie actors ever, working with the best director of crime and gangster movies ever. The Irishman is a 3.5-hour epic that focuses on the life of Frank Sheeran as he goes from being a truck driver to a hitman to a bodyguard to the famed teamster Jimmy Hoffa. Full of fabulous performances, well utilised de-age and CGI, fantastic direction and incredible writing, The Irishman is a masterpiece. Everyone is on their A game, from the acting to the direction. This is a film that has few flaws, if any. Yes, it's long, yes the CGI takes some getting used to, but those are minor problems when the story, the dialogue, the acting and the direction are so good. Well, that's my list of the top 5 favourite films of 2019. You probably disagree with them, you might agree with some of them, you might want to change some of the order of them, I don't know. In the comments and feedback down below, how about you let me know what your favourite films of 2019 are, and let me know what you think of my ranking. Also, subscribe to my channel, and the more subscribers I get, the more content like this I can make. And have a happy Christmas. Chances are you're seeing this after Christmas, but oh well. Have a happy Christmas, have a happy New Year. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll tune in for 2020.